What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Grey Man Operations. Today's video, guys, man, if you only ever watch one of my videos, please let it be this video. I'm going to talk about training for civilians, everyday carry, that sort of thing. It's a question I get asked a lot, and I know that there are some people who I'm not answering because I just don't have the time anymore to answer all of the Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, well, patrons always answer, and YouTube messages I get surrounding where to find proper training courses, who you should be training with, and what type of courses you should be doing. Before I take you through it, guys, I want you to know I've done many training courses, no-light courses, I've done medical courses, I've done avoidance and awareness courses, I've done marksmanship courses, I've done TCCC, I've done courses that revolve around the law. I've done close quarter combat weapon retention courses. I've also done a lot of one-on-one courses, which we will talk about in a second. The only place where I would say this might not be super relevant is when it comes to medical training. Medical training, learn that shit. Like, learn from day one. Learn from the day you decide to get the firearm. Medical training is super useful in all walks of life, and you will more than likely need your medical training in life than you will need tactical or shooting training. Guys, before we get into that, if you are a patron, in this video we're giving away the last of our TED Attack multi-tools. I reviewed this a few weeks ago. A really nice multi-tool. We've given away 3 so far. This will be the 4th one in February, and then remember, in March we are giving away a Meta SF. So if you want to join on Patreon, it's the first link in the video description below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, it's the first comment. We give away gear every single month, sometimes like in February, every single week to our loyal patrons. You've got to become a paid member. We don't mind you being free on there for the content. There is always some extra content on there, but the prizes have to go to the paid members. First and most important thing, whether it be tactical training or simply shooting training, the instructor has to be able to demonstrate what they are asking you to do. Okay? Please, as a student, please don't feel bad or cocky if you ask the instructor, can you please show me this in live fire? You're paying your money to be there. They should be able to take their own firearm and show you exactly what it is they desire you to do. It's important because they must be able to do it themselves. This is so important. I can't stress this enough. Shooting is not a natural thing. The mere way you hold a firearm, where you are gripping less tightly with your dominant hand and super tightly with your non-dominant hand, is not a natural body mechanic. So when an instructor asks you to run a drill, to shoot at a certain speed, or whatever the case may be, they have to be able to demonstrate that they themselves can do it so that they can explain to you where you are going wrong. If I don't know how to do something, or I can't do something, how on the earth can I expect someone who I'm training to do it to be able to do it? And how can I be able to diagnose their problems if I myself can't do it? So when you're looking for an instructor, go onto the Instagram profile. They'll usually have a website. These guys are alpha personalities. Okay, they're going to show it off, which is fine, right? That's what they do. That's their business card. Go on their profiles, see what they're doing, see what they can and can't do, and you can quickly judge. Okay, now this guy can shoot. In my opinion, and this is another top tip for civilians. In my opinion, it is more important to be able to run your gun well than to know tactics. Everyone who I've ever spoken to about tactics that's actually employed it in real life has told me tactics is not that complicated. Once you wrap your head around certain fundamentals, it is applicable in multiple environments. It's not that hard to learn. Learning to shoot well is incredibly hard. And for civilian purposes, this is what I was actually told quite recently from someone who has decades of experience in real world environments, as well as being an extremely high level competition shooter. For civilian purposes, the greater percentage of your time needs to be focused on learning to shoot well. Now, I do want to talk about tactics, okay? Tactics, it's a dark market because you don't know who knows what they're talking about. And I would say, if you're going to learn tactics, now when we talk about tactics, we're talking about room clearing, we're talking about counter ambush, we're talking about anti-hijack, if you can call it that. You almost have to learn from someone who's been there. It's so important because you really can be fooled. I was fooled. You really can be fooled by tactics that just do not work, or tactics that are ancient. There are some things I've learned that when I was learning them, I thought to myself, man, this is never going to work. And then I spoke to people and they were like, yeah, that's how we did it like in the 70s. Okay. So you have to be so cautious about who you learn tactics from. There is another thing I want to tell you. The most important lesson, so let me rephrase, let me start this over. I am extremely cautious about anything related to hijacking and anti-hijack, counter-ambush, whatever the case may be. The reason is because I literally have been hijacked in my life. In fact, my firearm journey was initiated by a hijacking. Okay? And I'll tell you, I am yet to see anybody teach anything that would have prevented me from being hijacked. When I was hijacked, I was very fortunate to know someone who was training me, and he subsequently went. I mean, he's been to Brazil to teach Boppy some things. Boppy, I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, but it's almost like the Brazilian version of the Special Task Force. So knowledgeable guy, knows what he's talking about, and he ran a avoidance and awareness course. Now, don't ask me for his details. He doesn't run the course anymore. That was the most boring but most important course I've ever run, or I've ever been part of, because it was real world. We went to a real world shopping mall, and we went to a real world parking lot, and you'd like be asked to go draw money at the ATM, and someone would come stand behind you, someone who stand super close to you, someone stand further away. You'd have to point these things out. And avoidance and awareness is all about spotting indicators and pre-indicators, hidden hands, clothing that doesn't suit the environment, self-grooming, that sort of thing. And I said to my instructor who was teaching me, this is like looking somewhere. You're driving to work, and someone says, somewhere along your route is going to be a pink giraffe. You have to find it. The first day you do it, you're super paranoid. And I said, it's like you're looking for these indicators everywhere. As you do it more and more, after about a month or two, you will see that pink giraffe without even really paying attention. You listen to the radio, you're doing whatever, and there's the pink giraffe in that corner, and you go. Because you're so trained to look for it. The same thing with avoidance and awareness. You become so trained to look for certain things, certain indicators, that initially you think you're paranoid, and you actually feel like you're a bit paranoid. But as you do it more and more, and as you begin to notice these certain pre-indicators, it almost becomes part of your daily life. No one's teaching it because it's a course that nobody wants to do. People want to go to the range and they want to shoot. They want to learn how to do a tap rack, or they want to learn how to do a one-reload or shooting from behind a vehicle. On the shooting training, guys, if you can, try to do one-on-one. You're going to get the best bang for your buck if you can do one-on-one training. Here in Cape Town, that's Anton from Concealment Training. And here's the difference. When I'm done training with Anton, I hate myself. I want to quit shooting when I'm done. I was actually doing combatives once, and the combatives instructor told me that too many people enjoy training for it to actually be useful. Useful training is not enjoyable. Think of everything you've seen about the military, navies, or whatever. Those guys are not having a good time. They're pushing the limits of their capabilities. They're uncomfortable. They're unhappy. But it's so that they can perform well when they need to. If you're walking away from a course, having shot like a grouping this tight, thinking you're the man, you weren't pushed hard enough, and you kind of probably wasted your money, because you could kind of probably already do that grouping prior to going to that course. You just probably needed some validation. Now, I want to summarize this video. One, as a civilian, learning to shoot well is more important than learning tactics. Everything is my opinion. Nothing is a recommendation. If you don't agree with me, I've got no problem with that. But If we're talking about guns, the ability to shoot your gun accurately and quickly with multiple rounds on target, for me personally, is more important than learning CQB or room clearing or that sort of thing. You've got to be able to shoot accurately. I'm not saying that the tactic stuff isn't important. I'm listing them in a hierarchy of importance. The ability to shoot well is, for me, is right on top. The person who's training to shoot well must also be able to shoot well. When it comes to tactics, you want someone with an actual experience. Listen, this isn't like playing chess, okay? This is life or death stuff. And when your heart is pounding, there are certain things that you just can't do. This person who's teaching it to you needs to be able to know what those things are. They need to understand the limit of human capability. And you can't learn that theoretically. Thirdly, in South Africa, we don't have many of these guys. Unfortunately, we have very few trainers in South Africa. If you really want the top level of training, you're probably going to have to travel. Try to always do classes one-on-one if you can. Spend a little bit extra because you will save in the long run. Dry fire is not a negotiable. You will not get as good as you can be without dry fire. I guarantee you. And then remember, guys, when you go on a course, you are paying these people. So speak up. If you need a trainer to demonstrate something, say so. It's not disrespectful. At the end of the day, if you don't understand something, ask the instructor to demo it. And when you're searching for an instructor, go online and see what they look like. Well, not what they physically look like, what their resume looks like, what their online presence is. The only people who don't show themselves or their profiles or their capabilities are people who were involved in espionage, right? They talk about your spies and things like that. And you don't know what you're getting with those people. That's the nature of their life. So guys, let's switch the view, give away one of these, and then we'll come back and end off. Okay guys, you guys by now surely know what it is if you've been following the channel. I'm going to take a list of my active patrons. There are currently 294 of you. Going to copy you into a name randomizer, and that's going to randomize the order of the names and assign a number. I'm then going to take the numbers that correspond to those names, and I am going to paste that into a random wheel of names. Paste that there. Let's just wait for it to show. Okay, so there's usually one extra entry. Let me just backspace that. I'm then going to shuffle the order of those names, and there are 294 entries. I'm going to click to spin. The number this stops on, the corresponding name for that number, is the winner of the TerraTac multi-tool. Very, very cool multi-tool. One of my favorites actually. Number 241. 241. Remember guys, next month I'm giving away a Meta SF. 241 is Deerwald. I'm going to say Walk, just for the English side of things. It could be Valk. I'm not sure. Well done to you, Deerwald. I'll meet up with you on Patreon and hook you up with that multi-tool. Let's switch the view and we can end off. Guys, that's it. I know I chucked a lot of information in this video. Watch it twice if you have to. But in this video is all the information you need to go out and discern for yourself who you want to be training with and who you don't want to be training with. I know that a lot of you ask me, like, I'm in this city, I'm in that city, who do I train with? And I do know I'm not getting back to all of you because I can't. I just don't have enough time. Like, I work a full-time job and I do this after hours. So it's difficult for me to get back to all of you. And that's why I'm making this video, because I know some of your DMs are slipping through the cracks. That is it, guys. I will see you next week. Next week I'm doing the review of the Siley Ghost. You're going to want to watch that. There's a very unique thing that happens in that video. So check that out. I'll catch you guys next week. Have a good week. Be safe. Train hard. Cheers. God bless.